Hello. Hello again. Alright, let me just check everything is working. Okay, we're live. I just did a test again with my audio, and for some reason I've been having a lot of struggles, but we're here. Okay. Hello. I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday or whenever you watch this in the future if you're watching the replay. I have been thinking a lot about goals this week, both my personal goals and professional goals, as well as the goals that my clients are working towards. And I felt called to hop on here and touch on kind of a few of the reasons that you may not be seeing progress towards your goals, or reasons why you may not have achieved them yet. Because whether you call it a goal or not, I mean, if you're in this space and you're watching this, you're probably into personal development at least a little bit and self-improvement in that world. But yeah, even if you aren't, we all have things that we want, things that we dream about, things that we are working towards and striving for in our lives. So I just wanted to touch on a couple of the reasons that I see that people get stuck when going after the things that they want in their lives. So the first one is, and this may seem super simple, but the first one is that it might not be the right goal. And there are things that we feel like we should want, or maybe we feel pressured to want, or we were told that we should want, or maybe it's something we really did think that we wanted, but somewhere along the way you realize it's not actually something you want to be working towards. And sometimes I think we get so caught up in wanting to follow through and wanting to make something happen because we said we would, or because like other people said we should or would, or whatever the case may be, and that we're not willing to admit to other people or to ourselves that it doesn't really feel good anymore. And we realize along the way that it's not something we want to pursue, but then maybe we're so far into it that it feels like a failure or a waste to stop. So if that resonates with you, then I would encourage you to ask yourself, like, is this something that I truly want, that I want to be working towards, and maybe there are other things that are getting in the way right now? Or am I stuck because this is something that I either thought I wanted or that someone else wanted for me, and it's actually not aligned? So, number two, the second reason is that we don't set out expecting resistance. And I'll explain a little bit what that means. So, when you're going after something new, when you set a goal, you're excited about it, if it's outside your comfort zone, as many times things are, you are going to feel resistance regardless of whether, like, how much you want it or not. Because, like I've talked about before, your brain is always trying to protect you. So if you're doing something and taking a leap, so to speak, even if it's something that you truly, deep down in your soul, know that you want and you desire, and it feels scary, and your brain perceives that as a threat because there's a risk of embarrassment, shame, judgment, whatever feelings are on the list or whatever circumstances, then your brain is going to offer up reasons why you shouldn't go after it. And a lot of times we're not prepared for this. We're not prepared at all for this. We're not prepared for the feelings that come up with trying something new. And so when that happens and things start to change and we're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do with this feeling, then we freak out. And that's sometimes when we can start to self-sabotage. And this comes up a lot and has come up a lot with clients I've worked with, because a lot of times when we start something new, or put ourselves out there and we're going after something we really want, especially like if we've built it up a lot in our minds ahead of time, then those feelings can hit us really hard. And so one thing you can do is, whether you're working with a coach or not, or you have support or not, when you set out to work towards your goal, think about, okay, where could I potentially get in my own way going after this? And think about what parts of this thing that I really want, whether it's a job, a business, finding love, making more money, setting boundaries, and having stronger, better relationships in your life. Whatever your goal is, ask yourself, what parts of going after this thing are going to feel really scary? And prepare for that resistance. Prepare for those feelings to come up and know that you can help yourself through them. You can help yourself feel safe. You can love yourself through them. And of course, this is one awesome aspect of working with a coach or having someone to help you through it too. But you can learn to self-soothe. You can learn to regulate your nervous system and your emotions and ask yourself, okay, what would make me feel safer doing this new thing? Okay. And then the third reason you may not be seeing progress or have achieved your goals yet kind of piggybacks off of the second, and it is accountability. And this is a word you probably have heard a lot in the personal development, self-improvement world. I talk about it all the time because it is very important. And when you don't expect resistance, or you don't take the time to think about how going after what you want is going to change other aspects of your life, or you don't take measures necessarily to then you don't take those measures to hold yourself accountable. And because a lot of times when we start out with a new goal, or starting a new journey, we get really excited about it, which is awesome. Don't get me wrong, it's awesome. But we can get caught up in the hype of doing something new and being really excited about the possibility of this outcome that we're going towards, that we're not necessarily always realistic about what could get in the way, and about how, like, if you lose motivation after the first few days or the first few weeks, how are you going to keep going? What are you going to do to keep going? And this is one reason people get on hamster wheels, right? So to speak, because they're super inspired and motivated at the beginning of the week. They're so excited and they're taking all the action. And then Wednesday rolls around and you're starting to not feel like going to the gym or sending that email or applying for that job or responding to that message or whatever the case may be, or reaching out to that potential client or whatever. Then Thursday you're like, nah, it's basically almost the weekend, might as well wait till Monday, right? Can you relate? I've definitely done this. Okay, you're not alone. But it keeps going, right? It becomes this pattern and you can't seem to stay consistent because we don't take steps to hold ourselves accountable, and a lot of people tend to rely on that feeling of motivation and inspiration to fuel us, right? Rather than actually building the discipline and trust in ourselves to keep going. So if this is you and you get stuck on the hamster wheel and can't seem to follow through, I get it. Believe me, been there. It still happens sometimes. But look at your goal and look at what's been stopping you from taking steps toward it. And then look at, okay, how can I actually help myself follow through here? How can I expect resistance when going after this thing and plan for it? Whether it's having visual cues, using habit stacking, which, if you're not familiar, is basically when you link a new habit that you're trying to implement in your life to something you're already doing every day, so it becomes easier to make that new thing a habit as well. Or whether you ask someone to be your accountability buddy or partner. There are lots of ways to start holding yourself accountable and following through on things. So, of course, there are always many other potential reasons you may not be seeing progress towards your goals. It's going to be really individual to you, but these are the three that I see and have experienced the most. It may not be the right goal. You're not prepared for resistance and the emotions that come up with it, and maybe you don't pay attention to and plan for the accountability factor, which is super important. So those are my 3 reasons and tips. I hope this helped, and let me know what resonates with you. Feel free to send me a message. I always like connecting with people, so my DMs are open. But I hope this helped, and I will see you all another time.